All right, Domonique, this Jim Harbaugh thing, right? It reminds me of the old saying, just because you paranoid don't mean they ain't out to get you. Like, I am not at this very moment making an argument about whether or not they should punish Jim Harbaugh, what they should do, However, it is absolutely some people out to get him. There is no question about that. All those people who don't like Jim Harbaugh, which is just about everybody, all those people that don't like him, they seem to all be getting together. When they said that Rutgers and Ohio State were feeding signs to Purdue in the conference championship game last year, I'm like, damn, dog, they coming to take you out.
They don't like him, and that's what comes with the way that he behaves. And maybe it seems like some of the stuff that he's being accused of is stuff that is normal amongst football teams, and a lot of these teams are aware of it. We still got that music. Can we still play that music? Because there are some things that are not normal amongst this that I've heard that have yet to be verified.
Now that I think about this, given that this one isn't live, our production people should be able to come up with a way to make sure that this happens. We will put something on the screen that will indicate to people that we talk about something else that they can't hear. Go for it. All right, and 3, 2, 1. Yes, Domonique, that is, in fact, Nanas. That is quite Nanas. This is where I think Michigan, like the space they've gotten into on this, right? And I want to be clear. I'm not making a comparison between the acts. I'm trying to establish a scale, right? So something about life and like crime stuff for me that I think people get too caught up in is the brutality of an act, right? You kill somebody because you slipped them some poison, or you kill somebody because you shot him and then hacked him up. As the dead person, I don't know how much the differences are really going to make in the end, right? But we take it to another step on the brutality of the action. What people seem to have the problem with Harbaugh is not simply the idea that they was cheating, is that they seem to be going the extra light year, let alone mile. Yeah. Like they were going to places and levels that people are like, damn, I ain't even think about that. Like that time Lane Kiffin had his holder out there wearing the wrong number to try to fool people and make them think that the holder on extra points was a quarterback, because so there might be a fake or something like that. And people are just like, dog, who does this, right? Like it's what he's done is uncouth. People find it to be in poor taste. And now they coming to get him. But there are two levels that I love about this that are just decidedly college football, right? Number one, the outright pettiness of the whole world ganging up on Michigan in this way, which may blow up in all their faces, because who knows what else everybody else is out here doing. Like, damn, Harbaugh, the only one who thought of this. When you ever been the only person that thought about something? If Harbaugh thought of it, because I don't know who's doing what. And honestly, It wouldn't surprise me if Harbaugh didn't know they was doing it, because don't nobody want to talk to him. I can see all those things being the case, right? But number two, and this is what is always fun to me, when one of them hoity-toity nose in the air schools get caught cheating, everything feels different. Because look, you and I talked about this at dinner the other night. The NCAA right now is like a small town police department. They got all these guns, they got all this power, they got all this authority, but there ain't no crime in these streets no more. The money thing, it's over, right? There's no crime in these streets. This isn't, I know this is the Big Ten, not the NCAA, but still all these institutions have to justify their existence. And this is a great way for them to justify their existence. But I remember when North Carolina got caught with them boys and everything that happened with that money in 2010, 2011, where, around then. And all these people that had been high horsing on the side of the NCAA when NC State got in trouble and everything, all of a sudden done fell off their ass on the way to Damascus. The light has been seen. They all get it. And Michigan's in that place. Y'all had your nose in the air. Ohio State, which is a shrug their shoulders sort of renegade program, right? We know what time it is. They don't really try to act like they better. They just try to beat the case. Now Michigan is there.
Having Michigan there is part of what makes this hilarious. The tough thing for anybody who is a Michigan supporter and trying to defend them is the circumstantial evidence that is their record changing,
yes,
their success changing, all connected to the timing of this Connor Stallions fella showing the hell up. That is really hard to push back on. And I agree. I've been around football. I've seen some cheat type stuff before. And some of this stuff does not make me uncomfortable. But I don't know, since we're in the early stages of this investigation, I don't know exactly what's happening. But I know whatever it was impactful based on those numbers. And there are some things that you can't write rules for everything. You and I have talked about this before. There is a need for unwritten rules. If I got to write a rule for every way that you guys could possibly break the law, it's impossible to keep up with it. So there are some unwritten rules. While it does not say you can't do exactly what they're doing, clearly somebody is, with some good sense is going to be like, yeah, I'm super competitive, but not this far. But not in Michigan, I guess. Or I shouldn't put it on Michigan, not in a Jim Harbaugh run organization. When I look at him and I think about him, I do not see someone who is reasonable. He does not strike me as someone who is going to be the one to pull the reins back and be like, hey, maybe not that far, guys.
And man, they got a particular strain of arrogance up there. Like, you ever been to a game at the Big House?
Nah. Actually, yeah, I did. I went there on a recruiting visit a long time ago.
All right. So I went there last year. And, everybody's got their pregame videos they play or whatever. And, one thing Michigan got for you is a hell of an alumni list.
Yeah.
And so they got James Earl Jones doing the voice for it. And I don't even want to try to do a James Earl Jones voice, but the line I remember, we are the greatest university in the world. That may not be verbatim, but it's very similar. And I'm looking around this crowd like, I understand that some of these people went to college, but like that's not even, but that's who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like they buy into the belief of themselves in a much different way. And now they're going to have to ride this thing all the way out. But I did see a thing, Pat Forty and Dan Wetzel got their podcast, and Forty went on and said he talked to somebody of some repute or power who said that they felt like in the history of the Big Ten, this is the biggest scandal there's ever been that did not involve match fixing. And I'm guessing they're talking about strictly on the field scandals because, Penn State is in the Big Ten, guys. And it was just earlier this year that we found out at Northwestern, they out here slapping the freshmen with their dicks. Remember that? Like we had people getting slapped with dicks to get on the team. And we out here over some sign stealing. Like, we got wall-to-wall coverage over the sign stealing. That coach got fired because they was out here slapping people with dicks in the middle of the woods. And we barely had any time for that. And I'm confused because on one level, I'm like, wow, our society is just caught up in the things that don't really matter. I'm not trying to pretend like this dick slapping is the most consequential thing that's ever happened. I'm just telling you, every time I say dick slapping, your ears perk up. Like, you gonna tell me that wouldn't have got some hits? You gonna tell me that dick slapping wouldn't have got no traffic? And I don't care if it was on the field, off the field, whatever it is. You're just not gonna tell me that stealing signs is a bigger scandal than dick slapping. Now, if somebody named Connor Stallions was flying on the sidelines of other games to dick slap people, then yeah, I can understand maybe people would think, oh, this goes a little bit farther. You know what I'm saying? But the hoity-toity academic school had dick slapping in the forest. That's a bigger scandal than this.
I still work for Disney Corporation, so I appreciate you handling that whole segment without me. But I do agree that the issues that are taking place for Penn State, it matters, or that are taking place for Michigan matters because we care about the games. That's why, we can't pretend like it does. It matters more because of that and because of the school and the team. Don't nobody care about Northwestern except for the people who went to Northwestern. And it's not impacting the field. Like, this is impacting, I'm not saying it's right, or I'm definitely not saying it's right, but that's the reason why. This is impacting this year's national championship race. It has immediate impact. And the idea that they should not, I know Stephen A. and a couple other people said that they should be not allowed into the playoffs, which I think is a bit crazy. Absurd. I think the middle ground that I don't think is absurd is you can sideline Harbaugh and not impact the team. Like, given right now the evidence enough that they have and the rules generally stand that you're responsible to everything that happens within your organization, I think it's fine if they put Harbaugh on the sideline. But I think they need to be careful because the Big Ten and the NCAA may weigh in at some point, but the Big Ten is made up of members of the Big Ten. So it is not an unbiased group. It's not a third party making these decisions. This is something that I'm familiar with because the NFL is also, the decisions that are made to appease, satisfy, pay favors to different owners on different teams. This becomes a problem when you start doing it right here because, again, you don't know what the next issue is going to be, and you don't know what constituency is going to build up and who they're going to come for, and also how it's going to affect you. That's the other overarching thing is this ain't good for nobody in the Big Ten. As much as they hate Michigan, you know what's good for the Big Ten? Them getting to the playoffs and getting that money.
That's what I was just about to say. Let me explain something to you right fast. There's a lot of petty beef that's going on here, a lot of back and forth with the schools, all of this stuff. I feel very confident saying in the SEC, they'd have bunkered down and been like, look, this is the best play for this conference, and we going to make this happen. Go look at what happened with the Cam Newton situation. You think most of the conference didn't have beef with that? You don't think that they were salty about that one? Nope. But we all going to get together. You know, there's a couple people in a couple places that was in the background, you know, trying to undercut the game. But in the end, everybody was doing what was best for the operation. The Big Ten tried to act like it's a little bit, you know, the SEC is done pretending, right?
Yep.
The Big Ten is selling a brand that has a morality that the SEC has simply given up on. So it's going to get weird. I think they're probably going to bench Harbaugh, but I agree. Out of line with protocol, you can't really do that, man. Like, especially given that people do so much cheating in this game, you're setting yourself up for a standard that you just quite honestly can never live up to.